Hello, can I have your attention, please? I'm Mark McLaughlin, Chief of Staff for the Mayor. I am very, very proud to introduce the hardest working mayor in the entire area, Thomas M. McDermott, for the 2015 State of the City.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I love seeing City Hall so full like this. Before we get started, I want to thank my family for being here. My brothers, Aaron and Brett, Lynette, my stepmother, and my wife, Marissa. So give them a big round of applause, everybody. And to the elected officials, I want to recognize them individually, if you don't mind also. First District Councilman Mark Kowinski. If you're wondering why Mark's looking especially hairy, we're getting shaved this weekend for St. Baldrick, so he's letting it all grow out. He's donating it to charity. So, 5th District City Councilman and the Council President, Michael Pinker. Councilman at Large, Robert Markovich. 2nd District City Councilman, Jackie Lackey. 4th District Councilman, Bill Emerson. Councilwoman at Large, Janet Venez. 6th District Councilman, Chico Hinojosa. Councilman at Large, Dan Spitali. And our City Clerk, Robert Golick. Now, before I get into the speech, I have a few people I want to recognize. This isn't, this starts from the mayor. I start the speech, and then what I find out is there's a lot of people with a lot better ideas and a lot better ways of expressing it than I. So if you don't mind, I'm going to recognize the people that really helped write this speech. It started for me, and it went to Sharon Zaney. I don't think she's here today, but Sharon Zaney did a lot of work on this, and I want to say thank you to Sharon. From there, it went to our corporate counsel, Chris Kantar, who has an amazing way of expressing things. She's sharp. She knows the city of Hammond. From there, it went to Kevin Smith, who, as everybody knows, I work very closely with on all matters. And then from there, it went to my wife, Marissa, who basically took everything we did and redid it all. So if you don't mind recognizing all of them, Hammond residents that worked on this speech, thank you. One of our great accomplishments is Go Hammond TV, and that's being run by Jake Jacobs and by Ray Escamilla. Thank you guys very much. This is being aired live right now, so thank you to those two. And I'm told I'm not supposed to look at this while the speech is going on, but this was done by John Vesmar of Vesmar Media Group. I want to thank him for working very hard all weekend getting this ready. Thank you very much, John. Thank you again for everybody coming out today. Residents of Hammond, elected officials, members of the press, thank you for attending this 2015 State of the City address. You will notice that the theme of this year's address is investment. By investment, we mean not only the tremendous financial investment brought to our city, but also the prudent financial investment made by our city. However, investments are not just financial. As residents of Hammond, you all make daily investments of your time and talent. In choosing to live here, you are choosing to give yourself a place you love. I too am committed to this city and will continue to invest myself totally in fighting for the future of Hammond. For example, the city of Hammond has chosen to invest in quality of life. What is quality of life? I define it as a resident's overall satisfaction with living in our city. It is an important tool I use to measure the happiness of our residents, of our families, and our homeowners, as well as their desire to remain in our city instead of relocating elsewhere. For over a decade now, this administration has worked diligently to improve the quality of life in Hammond, Indiana. At Mayor's Nights Out, we meet weekly. On my weekly radio show, at Crime Watch meetings, we listen to our residents' recommendations, concerns, and ideas for the type of quality of life improvements they want. Whether the suggestions had to do with recreation, economic development, education, or public safety, we listened and responded. Your vision became our vision. One of the barometers that people use to determine whether a city or town is a good place to live is the quality of the park and recreation facilities in that city. I am proud that during this tenure, there has been an unprecedented investment in our city's parks and recreation. Whether it's refurbishing older facilities or building new ones from the ground up. This administration has invested and will continue to invest in outdoor sports and recreation. This past year, we added several new bike bridges to our ever-growing trail system. Along the Monon Trail at 165th Street next to Lyman, a 90-foot bridge and 2 ADA-compliant approaches were added. Further along the trail, tying our trail system with Munster's trail system, we built a 200-foot bridge across the Little Calumet River where an abandoned rail trestle stood for decades. The Erie-Lackawanna Trail over Columbia Avenue and 167th Street added 2 bridges spanning over 270 feet, but we aren't done yet. Future plans for the trail include a bridge over Calumet Avenue at 125th Street connecting to Wolf Lake and the George Lake trails. I am hopeful that 2015 will bring a bike tunnel on 165th Street near Maywood Elementary School, adding a safe crossing for our students and connecting the Erie-Lackawanna Trail across 165th. Also planned for Calumet Avenue is a bridge further connecting the Erie-Lackawanna Trail at Conkey Street, which will add another safe crossing across another busy intersection. These improvements allow our cyclists, our joggers, our walkers, and our disabled residents to travel throughout our city and to adjoining communities safely. And because of these trails, Hammond is now able to host one of the best bicycle events in the region, the annual Wham Ride, a 30-mile midnight bike ride beginning at Wolf Lake and traveling through Whiting, Hammond, Highland, and Munster. In 2014, the Wham Ride attracted over 900 riders. Now in its 3rd year, this family-friendly event continues to grow and attract people from outside of the region who get to view what Hammond and its adjacent communities have to offer. Hammond's dedication to preserving and improving outdoor activities is getting noticed across the state. Just last month, I was honored on your behalf to receive the Indiana Greenways Association Public Servant of the Year Award for our work on the Hammond's Trail System. This is on the heels of last year's Greenway Association Outstanding City of the Year Award for Hammond's Trail System. Most rewarding is the recognition of our success in the face of challenges unique to urban post-industrial cities. By using unused rights-of-way and remediating land that has long been vacant, we are slowly turning Rust Belt into Green Belt. Even our four-legged residents are enjoying investments by the city. A dog park is currently under construction at Riverside Park that will offer dogs a safe environment to play and to socialize. However, investments should always be frugal, and so our Board of Public Works crews are providing most of the manpower for the dog park, saving Hammond residents thousands of dollars. As anybody who lives in the region knows, the fair weather months are far too short. That's why Hammond has invested in winter recreation as well. Hammond has 5 ice skating and hockey rinks at Riverside, Hessville, Irving, Forsyth, and Pulaski Parks. Due to the hard work and persistence of 1st District Councilman Mark Kowinski, we call him the man of the ice, who works tirelessly preparing the ice, hundreds of kids have a place to skate during Hammond's cold winter months. Pulaski and Forsyth Parks both have hot houses, and the city is considering offering skate rentals into the future. The city is also now beginning to offer cross-country skiing at the Lost Marsh Golf Course. There are 2 loop courses planned through the trails at Lost Marsh. Both courses will be professionally groomed, and for the thrill seekers in our city, Lost Marsh also offers sledding on some of the city's largest hills. Dowling Park also has a sled hill, although it's been recently moved to the northeast section of the park to provide better parking. This administration has made a decade-long commitment to supporting and expanding youth sports in Hammond. As the largest city in Lake County, we have a huge pool of talent, and we are committing to giving our kids the opportunity to nurture that talent. 2015 will feature a big ribbon-cutting celebration in Hessville when we finally open the Hammond-Purdue-Calumet Outdoor Athletics Complex at Dowling Park. This groundbreaking project was created through a partnership between the city and Purdue University Calumet. It will boast state-of-the-art turf, baseball, softball, and soccer fields. This summer, a nearly 2-mile walking and jogging track will be completed, along with tennis courts, a concession stand, and bleachers. This complex will be home to Purdue Calumet baseball, softball, and soccer teams, and will host many other events. It will be a sports complex the entire city can be proud of. I'd like to recognize a few people in attendance from Purdue Calumet that came out today. First off, a great chancellor, a great person, a neighbor, and a friend, Chancellor Tom Keon. Thank you very much, Chancellor. Also in attendance, we have the athletic director of Purdue University Calumet, Rick Costello. Thank you very much, Rick. Sitting next to Rick is Kelly Evans, the women's soccer coach. We call him Big Daddy on the road, but locally we just call him Coach Dave. Coach Dave Griffin, the men's baseball coach at Purdue Calumet. I call him that. I don't know if anybody else does, so. The Purdue Calumet Dowling Park facility is only the latest in our efforts to promote youth sports in Hammond. Improvements we have made over the past decade include an improved Hessville Park with added fencing, dugouts, and scoreboards, a new turf football field at Morton High School, the Hessville Youth Soccer Complex, the Hammond Optimist Youth Sport Complex, host to the 2013 Cal Ripken 12-year-old World Series, Hammond Hermits 5 new baseball fields, concession stand, dugouts, lights, playground equipment, and concrete walkway, and 3 city skate parks created after a group of youths approached the city with the idea. I tell this story a lot. There was a kid that was stalking me, went to every mayor's night and followed me around, and we finally built his skate park in Hessville, and he was one of the happiest kids in the world. But this kid really got us to go forward, and he's probably 20-something years old now, by the way. So anyway, partnerships have been a key for us being able to make these investments around the city. One such partner is the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority, or the RDA, which in 2009 awarded Hammond a grant of over $31 million. This grant, still the largest in RDA's history, was given in order to remediate and transform Wolf Lake and Forsyth Park. I know neither of them can make it here today. I believe Bill Hanna is down in Indianapolis lobbying right now, but Bill Hanna, the CEO of the RDA, and Tom Dabberton, the City of Hammond's appointee to the RDA, both did a great job, and I'm sure they're either watching on Go Hammond TV, so let's give them a big round of applause. They do wonderful work for us. Part of the Marquette Plan, this project has invested in the area's natural beauty, environmental assets, and recreation benefits, creating a destination for everyone to enjoy. The grant helped build the bike and hiking trails, linking Hammond to neighboring communities, as well as adding picnic areas, scenic gardens, and a conservatory, allowing the Port Authority to grow its flowers for use at the Lost Marsh and Wolf Lake Memorial Park. Completed last year was the one-of-a-kind 1,200-foot bridge across Wolf Lake. This breathtaking bridge, which is quickly becoming a favorite among runners and cyclists, serves as a fitting complement to the nearby pavilion at Wolf Lake and the Wolf Lake Aquatic Play Center. Taken together, these recreational improvements all over the city of Hammond have helped make our city healthier, more family-friendly, and more environmentally responsible. These are investments that will pay great dividends in the form of increased investment, higher home ownership, and a happier population. Started off with the good news. Let's talk about the finances in the state of the city. While the financial state of the city is stable, it is only stable due to years of prudent planning and cutting. Our preparedness has helped us weather the economic storm, but it has not been easy. In 2010, Hoosier voters voted overwhelmingly to make property tax caps part of our Constitution in Indiana. Since the tax caps were implemented, Hammond has lost over $20 million annually from property tax collections. Reduced property tax revenue is the most pressing issue facing Hammond and all cities across Indiana. We are expected to maintain city services, yet must do so with almost half the tax revenue we received in past years. To understand truly how much this $20 million reduction affects city finances, consider how Hammond is financed. $63 million annual budget consists of $25 million to fund the Hammond Police Department alone at 210 police officers. Notice we got $22 million in property tax revenue and $25 million just to fund our police department. $15 million to fund the Hammond Fire Department, including ambulance services at 155 firemen. $15 million in city employee and retiree health insurance and pension costs. $3.5 million college-bound scholarship, $1 million senior disabled homeowner rebate of checks, and $3.5 million for all other city departments combined. As you can see, public safety, what we traditionally define as police and fire, consumes over 75% of our entire city budget. While we are projected to receive around $23 million in property tax revenue in 2015, this is down from $42 million before the tax caps, leaving an annual shortfall. Hammond is able to cover the unpaid balance with gaming revenues, which are currently ample. However, with surrounding states broadening their gambling and with Indiana's gaming revenues slowly decreasing, we do not want to rely solely on that source. Instead, the Hammond Common Council and I have begun working to transition our financial reliance from gaming to the more stable source of water. Sitting as we do on one of the biggest sources of fresh water in the United States, Hammond is uniquely positioned to capitalize on that resource and create a new revenue stream that will serve us well for decades to come. Looking for new revenue sources is only one part of the equation. The other necessary part is reducing the cost of government, which my administration has been doing since day one. In order to comply with the tax caps voted in by Hoosiers, this administration has consolidated, eliminated, and reduced numerous city departments, cutting employees and overhead expenses. Recently, we merged the building department, the code department, and the zoning department into a single department we now call inspections, which is currently being funded with rental registration fees paid by the landlords and not by the homeowners. This past year, for instance, we privatized the city recycling department. And since we privatized the city recycling department, our recycling and collections in Hammond have gone up a whopping 300%. This adds revenue to our city from the sale of recyclables, but also through lower garbage tipping fees. The more you recycle, the less you put into the landfill. The less you put into a landfill, the more the city saves. We make money and save money. The city sold the recycling department building for $500,000, which also put the property back on the tax rolls. JJS Recycling, which bought the building, will soon have 25 employees for a total investment in our city of $2 million. And the primary investors of JJS Recycling are here, and if you don't mind, I want to recognize them. Mr. Peter Manis, Mishko Zivanovic, and Milan Zivanovic. Thank you very much, JJS Recycling, for believing in our city. Also in 2014, we relocated the Department of Planning and Development to City Hall. That building, too, was sold to a private company, the Root Brothers Manufacturing and Supply. The sale to this 88-year-old company, which is relocating their business from Illinois to Hammond, has put the building back on the tax rolls as well. Both of these investments will benefit Hammond's 3rd District, and I want to especially thank the owners who could not make it today, Mr. Aaron Root and Mr. Gary Root. Big round of applause, please. And a young man that lives in our city that helped us close this deal. He lives in Hammond's Robertsdale section. He sits on a couple of boards for the city and literally was instrumental in making this deal happen. Mike Dye. Thank you very much, Mike. Education. One of the biggest investments the city of Hammond has made under my watch has been in the area of education. In order to compete in an increasingly global economy, our young people must be provided a world-class education. With unions under attack nationwide and with manufacturing jobs being shipped overseas, our region needs to take a look beyond the jobs that supported us in our past decades. The 2 biggest accomplishments from this administration's commitment to education are definitely the College Bound Scholarship Program and Hammond Academy of Sciences and Technology, or HAST, charter school. During 2014, College Bound, a nationally acclaimed scholarship program, was extended an additional 10 years past its original 10-year promise. This extension was critical as it cements College Bound's legacy, providing a solid reason for families to remain in Hammond. The Hammond City Council voted 9-0 to extend this. We didn't get a lot of coverage and fanfare out of that, but a 9-0 vote on the council doesn't happen very often, and it committed for, at that time, it was 12 more years for this college scholarship. So I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to the council for a 9-0 vote to extend something I think is critical to our city's future. Thank you very much. Excuse me. The program, College Bound, is funded with a mixture of casino and water revenues, costing Hammond a little over $3 million annually. Now in its 9th year of operation, 1,509 students have received their scholarship. Contrary to popular belief, 1,509 students have received the scholarship. Those same student beneficiaries have given more than 104,000 hours of community service since our program's inception. Through this program, my administration has been introduced to talented young people, some of whom eventually came to work for this administration and are here today, and I'm going to embarrass them if you don't mind. First off, catcher from Purdue Calumet baseball team and a college-bound student who walked in last second. Very happy to see him. Adam Sirkovich, thank you very much. She runs our college-bound scholarship, she ran our college-bound scholarship program and recently moved over and became our special events coordinator, Leanne Munoz. She runs currently our college-bound scholarship program, Gabriela Gallegos. He couldn't make it today, but I wanted to say thanks to Thomas Ramker, who works in Hammond Sanitary District, also a college-bound graduate working for the city. Another success story is the Hammond Academy of Science and Technology, also known as HAST. Now 5 years old, it currently educates over 500 students in grades 6 through 12, using a unique project-based learning environment that has drawn widespread praise. The 2013-2014 school year saw the school's first graduating class, which had a graduation rate and college acceptance rate of over 90%. The graduating class, 90% college acceptance rate. All but one graduate had a minimum of 3 college credits upon graduation, and many had in the range of 20 to 40 college credits when they graduated from HAST. The State Board of Education awarded HAST a school letter grade of B, and the class of 2014 received $1.3 million in scholarship offers. HAST. Dr. Sean Egan could not be here today, but I want to give a shout out to Dr. Sean Egan and the board of HAST. It's doing a great job helping that run. My involvement with the education of our students is not only with HAST, but all Hammond schools, public and private. Every year, I visit all the schools in Hammond to answer questions and speak with students about the importance of higher education. Every year, I also address the new Hammond public school teachers, letting them know I will never turn down an invitation to visit their class. I will never turn down an invitation to speak in classes. Spoken hundreds of them since I've been mayor. Investing in our children and preparing them for future success is an essential part of any city, and it continues to be one of our top priorities. Economic development. When we think of investment, the first thing that usually comes to mind is financial investment by businesses. Since taking office, my administration has succeeded in bringing almost $1 billion of business investment to the city of Hammond, helping Hammond weather the national recession and giving us the ability to capitalize on the current economic upswing. An example of good preparedness by the city is the city's Oxbow Landing project. 10 years ago, the city condemned and razed the crime-riddled River Park apartment complex, located at Kennedy Avenue and Interstate 8094. Now, with the economy recovering, there has been intense interest in these shovel-ready lots. We have already seen $15 million invested in this site, with Buffalo Wild Wings cutting the ribbon on a top-notch stadium concept restaurant in 2014. We always believed in this location, and our vision is now paying off. Sales at that BW3 restaurant have been astronomical, and it regularly ranks among the top grossing BW3s nationwide. Hampton Inn will be cutting a ribbon at Oxbow Landing later this year, as well as a state-of-the-art office building. It is estimated that when the entire development is complete, over $45 million will be invested in that development. Just down the road from Oxbow Landing, a Walmart supercenter is being built on a parcel adjacent to Cabela's at the intersection of 8094 and Indianapolis Boulevard. This new Walmart brings a $25 million investment to our city and will create at least 300 jobs. Across the street, Planet Fitness just opened its doors at Gateway Promenade, a 24-acre development formerly known as Interstate Plaza. Planet Fitness joins Aldi, White Castle, and a new BMV, which moved to the site in 2010. Like the BW3s at Oxbow Landing, this Planet Fitness is enjoying tremendous success with over 1,000 people joining before its doors were opened. Up north, in the 1st District, the Marina Development District, LLC, will construct approximately 8 retail outlets for new commercial retail space and overall improvements. The project, representing an investment in excess of $25 million, will consist of at least 2 sit-down restaurants, 2 fast food restaurants, 2 retail strip malls, and a bank. In addition, we've committed to rebuilding and reconfiguring the roadways along 5th Avenue and Indianapolis Boulevard. We will demolish various unsightly structures in the area and will establish covenants with the developer to prevent any new liquor stores, smoke shops, fireworks, or adult use businesses. The Marina Development District is estimated to create approximately 60 full-time construction jobs and 115 permanent jobs when it's completed. Inspections and property matters. The City of Hammond has been committed to improving public safety through aggressive enforcement of the city's building code. In 2014, the City Inspections Department issued a large number of permits due to code enforcement holding property owners responsible for maintaining their properties. Many of the permits issued were for the removal of illegal apartments that code enforcement initiated through citations and court proceedings. The building department saw a milestone in 2014 as the city demolished its 400th blighted structure. The city also signed property rehabilitation agreements with over 40 owners to renovate their structures, generating more tax dollars and improving neighborhoods. In 2014, building permits for construction and renovations increased 250%, evidence of people's confidence in our city's future. Floodplain. The city also continues its efforts to remove property owners from the floodplain. Several departments have worked hard to deliver multiple map revisions and amendments to FEMA, a federal agency, to alter their floodplain maps in areas of the city. To date, we have successfully removed 7,200 structures from the flood zone and are currently actively pursuing more removals. Many of the people in this room had their property removed from flood zones, and what that means for a family is a savings of anywhere from $1,000 to $1,600 a year just for removing you from that floodplain. That's a significant accomplishment when you talk about 7,200 structures have been removed in the past few years under this administration. Those homeowners who enjoy the insurance savings that come with removal from the floodplain can attest to the value of this investment by the city. It's $1,000, $1,500 a year forever that you're saving. That's bigger than any tax break we could ever give you. The Legal Aid Clinic. As a student at Notre Dame Law School, my involvement in the school's legal aid clinic made me realize that legal aid is a vital service that many people simply cannot afford. As mayor, I have invested in providing this essential service to our needy residents. The program has been the target of occasional criticism, but I imagine that those critics have never faced the struggle of being a single mother illegally kicked out of their apartment or being sued by unscrupulous creditors. Those people that turn to the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic usually have no place else they could turn to. November 1st of last year, the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic, once a city department, now an independent not-for-profit, celebrated its 10th anniversary. Throughout this 10-year period, the clinic has assisted over 3,500 Hammond residents, mostly in family law, guardianships, and landlord-tenant disputes. With the soft economy, there has also been a substantial rise in the problems relating to Medicare, Medicaid benefits, food stamps, Social Security, and elder law issues. Many clients are the working poor, who work 40 hours or more per week, yet remain below the federal poverty level. But for the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic, these residents would not have their legal needs met or their rights protected. I want to thank somebody that's been with me from day one with the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic. I'm pretty sure she's in here someplace. Chris Sakalaris, the CEO or the Executive Director of the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic. Thank you very much, Chris. Oh, there she is. Nice. There will always be a debate on what social programs a government should support. The Hammond Legal Aid Clinic is a program that my administration is committed to supporting. When the total costs are amortized over the 10 years, the cost per client is about $750 each, much lower than the thousands those clients would have had to pay private lawyers to fix their problems. In the end, however, if a government cannot help those most in need, What real purpose does that government serve? Public safety. As I mentioned earlier, about 75% of the city budget is devoted to public safety. Situated as we are next to the country's third largest city, the security of the residents of Hammond has always been the main priority of this administration. In an era where cops and firefighters have suffered massive layoffs nationwide, the city of Hammond has not laid off a single police or fireman during my entire tenure. Since 2011, the overall crime rate in Hammond has decreased by 37%. With over a 90% solve rate, Hammond detectives, Hammond Police Department ranks high among urban areas in its ability to solve crimes and to convict those that commit them. In fact, the entire country witnessed the high level of skill and professionalism of our Hammond Police Department this past year as they acted quickly to apprehend a person who is now accused of countless murders over many years. Without the Hammond Police Department's crack detective work, this criminal may have continued his horrible crime spree. Public safety cameras have also proven to be a solid weapon in crime fighting when placed in the proper locations and given the right equipment. We currently have police safety cameras at 5 strategic locations in our city, where they have reduced criminal activity in those areas. These cameras have been so helpful that in 2015, we will add 4 more cameras that will monitor our city's exit points. By placing these cameras in these locations, we can apprehend outsiders that come to Hammond looking to commit crimes. 2014 also saw the nation's attention turn to police-civilian interactions. Hammond was no exception, with a traffic stop incident that garnered national scrutiny. While that incident has been a learning experience for me and our police department, I continue to stand by our officers and appreciate the thankless, dangerous job that they do on a daily basis. For every viral video sparking outrage, there are countless acts of bravery and kindness that get no attention whatsoever. That's a true statement. I tell you, right in the middle of all this, when Hammond was being scrutinized, I'll never forget it. I was driving down the street and I saw 2 police officers pushing a car with a flat tire off the road. And I took a picture of it and I put it on the internet. And I said, we don't talk about this kind of stuff. It happens every single day, countless times a day. For every viral video that sparks outrage, there are countless acts of bravery and kindness that get no attention whatsoever. Let's give a big round of applause to the Hammond Police Department. That said, I also recognize that there are always improvements that can be made. Through dialogue between the police department, community representatives, and church leaders, we have identified areas where we can do better, including broader hiring practices and stronger community outreach. Toward that end, Hammond's Police Department launched several new projects in 2014 to keep better informed on the concerns of our residents. The popular Coffee with a Cop events are informal gatherings at local restaurants where citizens can have a relaxed conversation with Hammond police officers. The Hammond Police and the Eastside Community Council partnered together to create an open gym program in which officers and neighborhood youths are invited to get to know each other through basketball. Finally, beat officers attend the neighborhood crime watch meetings, giving Hammond residents an opportunity to meet officers working in that area. Open government. While I appreciate the opportunity to address the state of the city once a year and to set down for posterity the achievements we have accomplished, I see today's speech as a mere footnote to the constant open communication I enjoy on a daily basis with our residents. As mayor, I have open channels of communication through my weekly radio talk show on WJOB Friday mornings, Facebook and Twitter posts, mayor's nights out from day one, city council meetings, crime watch meetings. Residents who can't get out to these meetings can often find videos of these meetings posted on Go Hammond TV, allowing them unparalleled access to city government. By unveiling the new Hammond 311 phone app in 2014, we provided yet another avenue for residents to voice their concerns. This reporting platform allows residents to document concerns ranging from graffiti to broken streetlights. Once the resident submits an issue, city officials receive an alert, acknowledge the service request, route it to the proper department, and update the request once it's been resolved. Citizens can even create their own watch areas to receive notifications about all issues reported in their community, enabling them to follow the progress of all service requests, not just the ones they report. Everybody's favorite words, in closing. In closing, I want to thank you again for attending this annual event. But even better than formal speeches, I think, is the fact that residents feel free to approach me on the street, call in with questions on the radio show, or post directly to our Facebook site. I think it's important for me to be accountable and accessible to my constituents. I am grateful for the support I get from my department heads. They're outstanding. When I get attacked, I feel sorry for my department heads because they're outstanding. Every department head in the city of Hammond is a city resident, cares so much about our city. They live in all parts of the city, north, south, east, and west. Without my department heads, I would not be an effective mayor. So I want to say thank you to my department head. If you're in here, department head, can you raise your hand or stand up, please? The backbone of this administration. Thank you. I'm grateful for the support I get from my department heads and my employees, but also for the residents that keep me working hard and won't accept anything less than my best effort. My administration appreciates the investment that every Hammond citizen has made in this city, whether they've been here for 5 generations or 5 months. Together, we make Hammond one of the best places to live and to work in Northwest Indiana. I love being your mayor, and I love the city of Hammond. Good night, and thank you, everybody.